Hey, Jim here from Precision Airguns and Supplies, the airgun guy. Kind of reminiscing back as we close out the summer months here about some of the early shooting competitions I was lucky enough to attend, and these are early. These are pre-field target. We didn't even know what a field target was. We used to shoot on a farm. The fellow's name was John G, and that's him on the right over there. He really didn't shoot himself, but he just still had a passion for air guns and liked to have the air gunners come out and shoot. There's a kid there in his cool cat glasses. I'm guessing this was around 89 because it looks like I'm holding an Air Arms 100 series, or actually pre-100 series. It was a Shamal. Probably my first year competing with a PCP. And we get some pretty good turnouts for the early days. We just getting into the field target, we'd shoot at things like film canisters at 20 yards for the speed shoot of the pistol event. You'd shoot at a soup-sized can at 60 yards, and there was a bank of probably 10 or 20, and you'd knock them down and be scored accordingly. And then you'd shoot at a 5-pound coffee can, which sounds outrageously large, and it is, but it was at 90 yards. And this is in the middle, as you can see, just an old farm field, so if you can imagine the winds were gusting and swirling, and they were. So connecting with a 5-pound coffee can at 90 yards was not that easy to do, shooting a 12-foot-pound gun, and that's what even the Shamal shot in those days, barely 12 foot-pounds. So those were some good times, and some of those early events really mean a lot to me. This is a little picture here I found in an old collection of magazines that a local guy actually gave me, and referenced it. This was the year before, and they'd only have one event a year typically, so this was the 88 event. And again, I was lucky enough to place pretty well and then win the Top Gun event. I was shooting a Ross Sumter tuned HW77, which was just, and still is today, even a tack driver. This was the early variant. The early variants had a 25 millimeter seal, and they'd max out typically about 12 foot-pounds of energy. But it put pellet on pellet at 30 yards, no problem. It grouped within an inch and a half at 60 yards, which made it pretty easy to hit a full-size soup can, assuming the wind wasn't too terrible. But yeah, that was a nice gun. What else was I going to say about that? Oh, yeah, I actually felt a little bad at that event. I mean, I was proud I did good, but I think I took home all the trophies except one. And then being overall winner, I ran a little model 24, 27 RWS. If my camera person can swing over here, right here. So I went home with that baby too. So it was quite a day. And on the left, Kate, if you pan up, there's our 4 of the 5 events that the kid did pretty good at there. So good times. I know if you look at those trophies compared to some of the newer ones over here, they're kind of simple, but again, they've got some real history to me and some real meaning. So good times. We'll take a break again here now and transition to our next ID the Airgun event and see who can ID the Airgun and get the $20 off their next purchase in the shop. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Okay, it's time to ID the Airgun once again. This particular airgun I thought was more popular maybe than it really was, just because in my airgun circles there was quite a few of my friends, including myself, that owned and shot one of them. But when I took one to the Roanoke Gun Show, I was surprised that even at a show where there was many airgun collectors and shooters, what I would call airgun guys and gals, that so few people could identify it. So I thought this might be another good airgun to ID. So take a look at that. If it's something you're familiar with, you know the name of it, the model, the manufacturer. Again, respond on the YouTube comments below and be the first to identify it and win your $20 on your next purchase. Thanks again.